G'day guys, welcome to our channel. Today's video is basically how to get rid of acne on any of your photos with any version of Photoshop. Now, okay, the first thing we're going to do here is open up the image in Photoshop. Up on the top right hand side here, we've got what they call layers. You right click the one that says background and you duplicate the layer. You can call it whatever you want. Just put anything. I'm just going to leave a background copy. Leave it like that. Okay, that's all you have to do. The first thing. Now, as with all our Photoshop tutorials, what I'll do, I always do a duplicate of the background just in case I have a mistake. Now, I'm going to use the tools that you can use with any version of Photoshop here. Now, on the left-hand side, the first thing we're going to go to is what they call the patch tool. We're going to change the patch tool to the spot healing brush. Now what that does, when you click on the actual photo like that, it takes a bit of a copy of the image from the left to the right. And see what happens there, it's disappeared. That's how easy it is to do. And we continue doing this for the rest of the photo. Now it's not hard, it's very easy to do. Do this with a mouse, you don't need a pen and tablet like I do in a lot of other tutorials. All you have to do is just use the mouse and just use this. You can use this with any version of Photoshop. All versions of Photoshop have got this tool. Now, there's other different tools you can use with that as well. You've got the healing brush tool, which means you have to sample. So on a Mac, it's option, hold down the option key, and you sample something. You click on that with the mouse. And you let go, then you come down to whatever it is, and you see what it's doing. It's actually sampling what that X is doing there. It's just sampling it. It's just kind of duplicating it. A little bit very close to when they use the clone tool. Very similar to that. So we'll just go back to it, and we'll just continue doing this. You keep on drawing around, drawing around, drawing around, drawing around. There's another way of doing it. Now you can continue right through the whole entire image doing it this way. You've got the patch tool is the other tool you can use as well. Now the patch tool is quite interesting actually. What we're going to do with this, I'm just going to zoom in on something else like really small. With the patch tool, you just draw a circle around whatever it is that you want to get rid of. Okay, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And it's got a little arrow on it. That means you can drag it to an area that you want to duplicate. So for instance that, I'm going to duplicate that, let go, and it's duplicated. And you just click on the image again, deselect. So do that again with another bit right here, start red, and then go over there. You don't have to go to the right, you can go anywhere else on the image. But it's best off to stay within, see how it goes really bright, because we're going up too high here. You get back down to something very close to it, and then hit go. So, easy to do. That's easy to do. Now what you can do, you can actually continue around the whole entire image doing this. I prefer to use the spot healing brush tool. All these other ones here, all these other tools here that they've got, most of the content aware, red eye and all that, they're mainly in the later versions of Photoshop. We can use those as well, but there's no point at this stage. This tutorial is just basically about how to do this, how to remove pimples with any version of Photoshop. The thing is, not everyone's got the latest model of Photoshop, and it's one of those things that you see in a lot of tutorials. I love the tutorials, I love everyone's tutorials, they're unbelievably great, so informative. But the problem is a lot of people using the latest version of Photoshop, and they're doing all these little bits, tips and tricks, and this is how you change this, this is how you change that, and go through the levels, and but a lot of people don't have the money, or don't have the software, or don't have the know-how and everything else to actually, or interest to actually go out there and get this latest version of Photoshop. So especially if you're a student, obviously you won't be having the newest version of Photoshop. In general, I'm speaking here, I'm not saying for everyone. So it's just one of those things that I've seen in a lot of tutorials, and I thought, you know what, I've got a lot of friends of mine that say to me, look, how do you do this in Photoshop? I don't know how to do it. And I look at it and I say, oh, what version have you got? Oh, we've got the very first one that came out, or something like this. Oh, okay, well, it's not going to work if you do what they do in the tutorials, because a lot of them are, the latest version tutorials. So that's basically what I'm looking at with stuff like this. Now, if you want to rotate your image around, because if you're going like this with your mouse and you think, I'm not getting a straight line, hold down the R key and see straight away you've got the little arrow, it comes up. You move the arrow, you can move the cursor whichever way you like. So you hold down the R key and then you move the cursor and let go of the cursor, it stays. Now if you want to move the actual image around to go that way, left to right, you hold down the space bar key and you can just move the image around. Okay, now I'm just going to zoom back in because I've got this white area just here, and basically what I want to do, if I use the content aware, if you use any of these brushes like spot healing brush, and I go around the edge, it's not going to work properly. It is working properly, it's made a liar out of me. But usually what happens, something like that, you just get the paintbrush tool and sample the eyedropper tool here, eyedropper. You just sample that, get the paintbrush tool, and you just draw around that area. Okay, so we're just going to zoom back out, and this is where we are at the moment. We've got the rotate key. I'm going to turn it back around to there. It's not quite where we want it. I'm going to right-click the zoom tool and fit on screen. Now I'm just going to zoom out a bit more again. Now holding the spacebar key down, hold down the R key, and then I'll just get it so that it's straight again. Okay, here we go. Now I'll just zoom back out so you can see all the tools. As you can see, a lot of the face here has already been fixed. Now I'm going to go back to the spot healing brush tool. Now with all these tools at the top here, you can actually change the size of the brush. It's got 39. Now what happens here is that the size up here, the size itself, you can change the size to whatever you want, bigger size, whatever it is. Or if you know the dimensions, you can always just type them in and hit enter. Okay, so that gives you another little tip there. So okay, we're now going to use 50. So that's a little bit bigger. We're going to go bigger. Let's go bigger. 95. Yep, 95 is bigger. That's good. So as you can see, the brush is a lot bigger. But the bigger the brush, the more of the image it samples on either side of what you're actually painting over. Get rid of all these little spots and blemishes as well. And this is just basically what they do with their Photoshop, with touch-up. Have you ever had a person that says, oh, how do you do touch-up, or get someone to do some touch-up pictures for you, stuff like that? 9 times out of 10 they're using Photoshop, and this is basically how they do it. So, okay, we're not smoothing the object, not going to smooth it out. I mean, you've got all these skin indentations here and all that. We're not going to go into that at this stage. Basically, we're just going to go around and get rid of all the pimples. So, yeah. And if it goes too much of an issue, you just go back. You just go to edit, undo. That's all you have to do. All right, guys. Well, that's basically it for this tutorial. Put in the comments below if there's anything else that you want me to do a tutorial on, and see if I can help you with that. Cheers. Thanks for watching.